They begrudgingly awakened as he continued to sing. Discipline, duties, and routine kept the Union officers sane during their confinement to the second floor of the prison that they never could leave even for a breath of fresh air. A man didn't know the depth of his need for the outdoors until he was deprived of it. Then stick him in an overcrowded room with one latrine and no way out, and watch him squirm as it slowly maddens him. Inch by inch, the confinement eats away at his soul until nothing remains but a husk of a man. Then one day, he voluntarily steps out in front of one of the open windows, providing the bored-as-hell Confederate guards below some target practice. Wolf had seen it done. A broken captain from the 34th Indiana just stood one day, basking in the fishy breeze from the James River docks. The sunlight shone on his face, making him glow, and despite the calls from his comrades to return to the safety of the interior, he basked in it. His friends called to him, "Please, Joseph, come back." "They'll do it, Joe. Don't give the Rebs the satisfaction." Wolf and Roberts could only watch. They knew the captain ushered in his own death at the hand of a rebel sharpshooter who would end it all with lead and smoke. The men around him ducked, covering their heads, calling to him to lay down. It only took one shot. The crack of a rifle musket boomed below, echoing off the walls of the warehouses. The bullet knocked the captain's head backward. He collapsed almost peacefully, a mini A-ball rattling inside of his skull. Today, the men went about their morning routines. Those that had toothbrushes, a most lucrative luxury of only the luckiest, brushed their teeth. Others went to prepare food. Clusters of men sat in semicircles trading smudged newspapers that had already been read by hundreds of eager officers, grasping for any bit of information they could find. A few played cards, and others went about searching for rats to exterminate, or, if the rodents were substantial enough, add them to whatever rations were available for the day. Furniture was sparse and cherished among the men. The few stools and tables they used had been crafted from old crates. Robert scratched his head, picking at an infestation of lice that had taken residence upon his scalp. With no good way to bathe, the lice colonized the filthy prisoners with impunity. "How'd you sleep?" "About as good as you could expect in this hellhole." "I didn't sleep bad. Had a dream about Rosie last night." A roguish grin crossed Roberts's boyish cheeks. "Not while you held me. Tell me it was when you were turned to the other side." Robert's grin didn't subside. "We're pals, right? Ain't no shame in it." Wolf sighed, pushing himself to his feet. He shook his arms, trying to loosen the stiffness from them. "Better than Reynolds' farts." He locked hands with Roberts and helped him upright. They weaved through the too sick and tired to stand Union officers. The longer they'd been imprisoned, the worse off the captives were. Over 7 weeks of quarter rations combined with his battered body, and Wolf felt it too. He felt beaten. Not defeated, but ground down like a knife sharpened too many times. Colonel Dahlgren's slender coat was starting to fit better by the day over Wolf's once thick shoulders. Wolf and Roberts waded through the sea of dirty blue prisoners toward a group of 20 waiting near the locked prison door. The sun hadn't crept through the window, casting the prisoners in dim shadows. They were all part of the first shift of soldiers to cook meals for their room and were known simply as the mess squad. Lieutenant Colonel James Sanderson was in charge of the kitchen operations for the entire prison and had organized the men into mess squads. Each squad was entrusted with the rations for their room. However, that didn't matter much when they had to scrape together whatever they could. A winding crank was winched on the other side of the door. After the escape almost 3 months ago, a retractable staircase had been installed, thus preventing the prisoners from leaving the upper floors at night. With a loud thump, the stairs settled on the floor below. Heavy footsteps echoed upwards like a man nailing boards with the heel of his boot. The door vibrated beneath a meaty fist. "Get back," Wolf said quietly. The mess squad took an uneasy rearward step. If they crowded the door too close, they risked a beating. The jangle of keys sounded on the other side, then the soft splat of tobacco juice hit the floorboards. The door jerked open. If a man was too close, it would have bopped his skull.